Hello, friends. Welcome to the Optimize Online Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Barnes. I am a customer journey marketing strategist, and I help you maximize sales by optimizing the customer experience. This episode is going to be just a quick introductory episode to a little bit about my story and how I can help you with your online marketing. So, my podcasting style is a little bit raw, unedited. I will try to minimize some of like the weird breaks and the filler words, but for the most part, what you see is what you get. I really try very hard to keep my workflow minimal and streamlined. So yeah, that's how we're playing it today. So, fun fact, I actually had a podcast a little while back. It was called Brand and Blossom, and you can see some of the archived posts, not necessarily the podcast itself, but you can see that I posted on Instagram at Brand and Blossom Podcast, and you can see just how far back that podcast goes. That started in 2017. It ran for about 2 seasons and ended towards the end of 2018. That podcast ended because I didn't have a real strategy around how I was using it to market. And so I've learned a lot of lessons from that one, and I'm applying it to this one. In the first episode of this podcast, we're going to be talking about beginning with the end in mind. One of the reasons that the last podcast didn't do as well was because I didn't know where I was going with it. And when you have that end in mind, when you know exactly what the end game is here and what the goal is of your podcast, your content, whether it's YouTube, email marketing, social media, when you know what the end game is, it makes it a lot easier to figure out your steps moving forward. A lot of what this podcast is going to be focusing on is your ideal client's transformation. So we're going to be talking about what your client looks like before they work with you and what they look like after. And all of those steps in between are going to help dictate how you market to that ideal client. For your ideal client, their end game is their transformation. For you as a marketer, your end game is getting them to buy into the program that's going to help take them through that transformation. Two key areas that we're going to be focusing on at the beginning of this podcast is going to be the sales page for your product as well as your ideal client avatar. Both are going to play a major key role in all of your marketing strategies. By having a solid sales page ready, it's going to help you inform a lot of your marketing decisions. The sales page is also going to help you figure out exactly what should go inside of the course to help your client get the transformation that they're looking for. And by having a clear ideal client avatar, that's going to really help you understand each point in the marketing process of where they're at mentally so that you can speak to them in that moment. So having both the sales page and your ideal client avatar all set and ready to go, this is going to help you determine things like what kind of content strategy should you use. Should you be posting on YouTube? Should you be doing a podcast? Or should you be doing a blog? And once you have that, then it's also going to help you determine what kind of content you should be creating and what kind of content is going to naturally lead them to the sale of your product or program. So with all that said, I'll share who I am, what my background is, and how I can help you. In the beginning, I mentioned that I am a customer journey marketing strategist. What I mean by that is that I really look through marketing through the lens of the customer experience. What I mean by this is that a lot of marketers like to look at marketing as a numbers game, get as many people in through the door as they can, as many qualified leads as they can, and convert as many of those as possible in order to get a sale. So they'll look at numbers like running a ton of ads, they'll look at seeing what their open rates are for their emails, and they really obsess about the numbers. While the numbers are important, looking at through the lens of the customer experience kind of helps simplify it a little bit. So I help a lot of online marketers optimize their sales page. I'll take a look at their sales page and they're always asking, what can I do better? Why isn't my sales page converting? And I'll take a look at their sales page, and what I'm realizing, it's not necessarily the sales page that's the problem, it's their marketing strategy. While it is important to have a well-designed sales page, your marketing strategy is equally as important. For example, who are you bringing to the sales page? What did you do to get them there? How long have they known you for? And how long have they known about this product? All of these questions will help you determine whether or not you're getting actual qualified leads to the sales page. So let's look at it another way. Let's say you've come across an ad for something on Facebook and it takes you straight to a sales page. The chances that you're likely going to purchase from that particular product, especially if it's a higher ticket program, like anywhere from $297 to $497, you're probably not going to buy right away. You don't know who the person is yet, and you're not quite sure if this is something that you need. Now, let's say you come across somebody who's had a YouTube channel up for a little while and you've been watching their videos for the past couple months, and you've even binge watched a few of their past videos. You really like what they have to say, and so you're really interested in working with them more. So when they offer a product and they say, hey, I have this for sale, you're more likely to trust them. They've given you so much value inside of these YouTube videos that you're ready to take that next step. The longer that someone has had a relationship with you, whether that's through reading their emails, listening to your podcast, or watching YouTube videos, the more likely it is that they're going to buy. This is the big picture thinking that a lot of people miss when they're creating any kind of marketing asset, even for something as small as a podcast or an email to something as big as a sales page. You really need to think about the customer journey, where they're at and where they're receiving any piece of content from you and where their headspace is. That's going to help determine how effective that particular marketing piece is. I've been in the online space for quite some time. I want to say as early as 2014-ish as a graphic designer. And what I've realized is there's a lot of mistakes that people make when it comes to their marketing strategy, and missing out on the customer experience is one of the big ones. I've built several sales pages and I've reviewed a ton of them as well. And the ones that are most successful are the ones that really understand who they're talking to. They understand exactly who their ideal client is. They know exactly what that transformation is going to get. And the more that you know and understand what is going on inside of your ideal client's head, the more you can use language that speaks to them, that resonates with them, that they can empathize with. And so those that are winning know what's happening with their ideal client, and those that don't are the ones that aren't getting the best conversions on their sales page. Even before working in graphic design and online marketing, I worked in customer service. I worked in areas that were front facing and I solved customer problems in real time. I worked at various retailers like American Eagle, Walgreens, and Walt Disney World. More recently, in 2019, I was hired to be part of a customer service team for an online marketer. I saw when they were super excited to buy, and I also saw when they were getting ready to leave. While customer service was part of my job, the bigger part of my job was community engagement and making sure that the existing members inside of the membership were happy. On this side of the business, it was no longer about getting them in the door. It was keeping them engaged, keeping them happy, and creating moments where they would feel seen and heard. Some of you listening may even know me from that membership, and if you do, give me a shout out on Instagram at Stacey Barnes Co. I would love to say hello and reconnect with you. Eventually, I had to leave that job because I had other family responsibilities at home, but now I'm back and I am working for myself so that I can work my own hours, and I'm really excited to be bringing this podcast to you. If you are listening to this during the introductory period, then check out the episode with the contest details. If you post a screenshot and share on Instagram at Stacey Barnes CO, so STACYBARNESCO, check the link in the description for how to spell it. Tag me on a story on Instagram with a screenshot of the podcast so that I know that you're listening. Then you could be entered to win one of 3 amazing fun prizes. Make sure to check out the episode about the contest prizes or look at the post on Instagram to see what those contest prizes are. Make sure to, again, screenshot it and post within 24 hours. So post by February 19th, and then the winners will be announced on February 20th. Thanks so much for listening to this introductory episode of the Optimize Online Marketing Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.